Good morning. Appreciate everybody being here. It's appropriate that we're meeting in the Dean Smith Center. It's a special announcement by the United States Basketball Writers Association. I'm pleased to have with us this morning the current president, Pat Forty, of Yahoo Sports, the outgoing past president, Dana O'Neill of ESPN.com, the executive director of the USBWA, Joe Mitch, and John Feinstein of the Washington Post, Hall of Fame writer, who's probably outside of some of the beat writers, maybe in this room, and past North Carolina, has probably written more about Coach Smith than anyone. So we appreciate them being here. They're going to announce a prestigious new award that the United States Basketball Writers Association, the USBWA, is going to sponsor in partnership with the University of North Carolina. We do have a couple of special guests I want to introduce. Coach Smith's son, Scott, here in the front row, Director of Athletics, Bubba Cunningham, and head coach, Roy Williams. The format today, Pat's going to get up, introduce, tell you about the award, and comments from Dana and John as well, and any questions that you might have for them. And then we'll break after a few minutes, and Coach Williams, Scott, Bubba, anyone, and the panel as well will be available for interviews after that. So I'll turn it over to the current president of the USBWA, Pat Forty.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks very much to all of you for being here. We greatly appreciate it, and we are really excited for this announcement. My first thought, though, is what took us so long? We should have done this 15 years ago, probably, at least, to honor one of the great men that's ever been involved with college basketball. And very thankful to John Feinstein for bringing this idea to the USBWA. You know, John mentioned it at the Final Four, and I think for all of us it was slap the forehead. Well, of course we should have a Dean Smith Award, and so we are really excited that, you know, to get this underway. Very thankful for the cooperation and assistance from the Smith family, from the University of North Carolina. Steve's been a great help. We're ecstatic to have Coach Williams here and have Bubba Cunningham here because the University of North Carolina obviously meant so much to Coach Smith. And, you know, it is better late than never, and maybe better now than ever, given the state of some of things in college sports and in all sports. And to have somebody like Coach Smith as a kind of a guiding light for how to do things the right way, and to honor him and to honor what he did. And, you know, he retired not only as the winningest coach in college basketball, but truly one of the most profound figures and most impactful figures in college basketball. And we're not just talking about his record, which was incredible, but what he did outside the court. And that's really what we're seeking to honor here. You know, people who have had an impact on the game and on the people around them outside of just college basketball on the court. You know, what they do with players outside what they do in society. And that's Coach Smith was never afraid to have a voice in that area. His courage and his conviction made his sport a better place. And we are thrilled and we are grateful to be able to put this award into place and have this. And hopefully this is going to be an award that means a lot to the people who receive it. And we are really happy to be part of it as the U.S. Basketball Writers Association. And we are looking forward to naming our first winner later this year. We don't have a firm date yet on that, but the criteria is going to be very open-ended. People that are involved in the sport who help make basketball better. So we are very grateful to have you all here. We'll look forward to any input you have and any questions that you have, and we are very excited about the inaugural Dean Smith Award. Thank you.
I think Pat said it all pretty well. There's not that much for Dana or myself to add, except I just think that, as Pat said, this was so obvious that this was an appropriate thing for the basketball writers to do. Dean stood for all that was good in college athletics, and as Pat said, there's a lot that's not, as we all know. And I've said and written this line many times, but to me it just sums up Dean Smith, which was back in 1981 when I asked him about working to desegregate restaurants in Chapel Hill here in 1958, and he was upset with his close friend, the Reverend Robert Seymour, for telling me the story. And I asked him why. And I said, you should be proud of doing something like that. And his answer was, you should never be proud of doing the right thing. You should just do the right thing. And that's the way Dean lived his life. He never wanted the credit. I remember when they were talking about what to name this building. And I said, you know they're going to name the building for you. And he said, they should name it for the players. And I said, that'd be kind of an unwieldy name. But I also wanted, Linnea Smith has just walked in. Thank you so much for being here, Linnea. It means a lot to us. And your support and Scott's support and your family support is so important to us as we go forward with this. I'm thrilled that we're going to be a part of this. We want the winner. The winner's going to have nothing to do with wins and losses, because Dean was about so much more than wins and losses. The causes he stood up for, the lives that he touched throughout his coaching career and after his coaching career, that's what this award is about. And we're going to search for a person each year who Dean would be proud to present the award to if he were still here. I think that's our criteria, I think, is the bottom line. The last thing I just want to say is, when I was with Dean in 2009, when I was trying to convince him to let me write his biography, and I said to him, I don't think there's a biography that's been done that's worthy of the life you've led. And his answer was, I was just a basketball coach. And he was never more wrong in his entire life, but I think that reflects who Dean was. So I'm very proud to be a small part of this. Dana.
I got nothing. To echo what John and Pat said, obviously about Dean, but I think one thing I'm excited about too is the potential for who could win this award. I think all of us as reporters especially can get a little cynical, and rightfully so, about what's going on around us with coaches and people, whoever we deal with, and I think you have to have that sort of a cynical approach. I appreciate that. But I do think sometimes it masks the good things that people are doing within our business, and I mean our business as journalism and our business of college athletics. There are really good people who have been associated with college athletics, who have done good things far beyond what they do on the court, on the football field, or whatever, and we can lose sight of that, and I understand why we can, and I think I'm excited to bring the idea back about these people who have come before or are currently active, doing things that they don't have to do, but they're doing them because they want to do them, because, as John said, it's the right thing to do. They are impacting people. I know we joke about the student athlete and the terms and all this, but they are impacting people. They are making a difference. They are doing things that are not X's and O's. And I think it's very important that we recognize that and take a step back and, I'm not saying put rose-colored glasses on, but think about that every once in a while and bring it back to the fact that, okay, we need to recognize these people as well. So obviously to associate with Coach Smith and everything he has represented is an honor for all of us. I don't have the background of having dealt with him much in my career, but I always obviously knew who he was, and I've had the pleasure of working with people like him who I admired in Philadelphia and other places. So I think this is a really important award. I do believe whoever wins it will feel the honor that we're trying to represent with it, and I hope that everyone else does too. I hope everyone else, can pause for a second and say, all right, this is a good thing. This is a really good thing that's being done for Dean, for his family, but really for sports in general. So thank you all for coming.
Before I take a couple of questions up here for the panelists, and then we'll break down, I want to talk to you a couple of the details of the award. And Joe Mitch can tell you a little bit of the the inside baseball stuff about how the award came about. John was a big initiator behind the award, but in terms of talking to us around the time of the Final Four and how it kind of progressed. There will be a committee put together to select the recipient. I believe that the winner will be announced in later summer, early fall. There'll be a banquet here in November to present the first recipient of the award, and the hope is that that award is presented here in Chapel Hill each year, with the idea that it would be sort of a start to the college basketball season, hopefully as close to the start of the Carolina's first game, and we would honor the recipient in the Carolina Basketball Museum and have a dinner here. That dinner, the proceeds to that dinner, all of the proceeds will benefit the Dean Smith Opening Doors Fund. And that is a fund that was created in conjunction with the family and the University of North Carolina when Coach Smith passed. And that is to, I'm going to get this right, to assist students from low-income families in attending college, as well as professional students in education and social work. Education and social work were two areas of study that were very near and dear to Coach Smith's heart. So the family and the university created the Opening Doors Fund, and all of the proceeds from that dinner, which will be open to the public, all of the proceeds will go to that fund. So if you have a couple of questions, we'll keep the panel seated here just so everybody can get that, and then we'll break and get Dr. Smith as well as Scott, Coach Williams, and Bubba as well. So questions here? Aaron, just say who you wanted to and pull the mic in front of you when you can, please.
Yeah, sort of what John, Pat was saying, I guess you brought it to the group's attention. When did you start kicking this around? How long has this been in the?
Yeah, I'm glad, is the mic working? I have a loud voice anyway. I'm glad you brought that up, Aaron, because actually Rick Brewer, who's not here today, and I had a conversation at the ACC tournament, and I made the comment that I wished that all the ACC teams were wearing DES on their uniforms. I thought it shouldn't just be North Carolina, given Dean's impact. And Rick said, yeah, I mean, there should be something to honor him going forward. And I thought the basketball writers would be the perfect vehicle because there's no partisanship involved. You know, we're all from different places and different backgrounds, and we all agree that Dean is somebody who should have this kind of award named for him, and Rick and I almost instantly said the award should have nothing to do with wins and losses, and went from there. And as Pat said, I sat down at our meeting at the Final Four and brought it up, and I think it was like 30 seconds later we agreed to do it. I mean, there was no conversation. It was, yes, of course. Now how do we do it? And that's where Steve came in and played a major role, as did Scott and Linnea and the family.
It was the easiest committee meeting of all time.